Hi, I'm Ian.
I'm Melissa, and this is Bodie, and this is our bus, Raising Kindness. Welcome to our home. This is Raising Kindness, our bus that we've been living in for a few months now. And this is the entranceway. Well, you're actually in our bedroom/living room. I'll start with, I guess, the dining room table. So this is a 96-year-old cedar tree that was turned into a tabletop that we bought for our house before we moved into the bus, and we did not want to get rid of it, so we salvaged it and made it the tabletop. And then this is actually Bella, our dog's doghouse. Our sweet little beagle dog goes in here at nighttime, and then by day we double it up as some extra storage for some of our extra camping stuffs. So I can go ahead and open this up. We have all of our sports equipment, jeans, coats, things like that go in here. And then down below, more sports equipment. And then actually down here is where our battery is. Let me move this out of the way. Our sound system. We have a Bluetti battery that has been amazing. It's really treated us well. So that's down there. And then full closet here. And then this is, we decided to put shoes up on top. It just ended up working that way with the storage that we had. And then for like hoses, cords, all that fun jazz. I'm really proud of this whole thing that my husband did. He was so brilliant because we ended up moving from our house to the bus. It was kind of a surprise unexpectedly. So we tried to salvage and save money wherever we could by using some of the furniture that we already had in our home. And this was actually one of our boys' dressers in their room, and now we use it as our master bedroom dresser. So 4 and 4, each of us get 4 drawers. And then this was our computer from home that we got to save, and our TV. We have both of these on the arms here, which is really nifty. So it makes it really easy to move them around however we need. Yeah, and then we have all of this that's totally exposed. We kept very few books. A lot of our stuff is on stuff like Audible or just apps and stuff. So we just salvaged some of our books and we got rid of the rest. But we have all of our DVDs, all of our music. We consolidated to this. Our office supplies went from a whole desk of stuff to one little box. And surprisingly, this Xbox somehow does not fall off when we drive. It stays there. This is my whole closet. All my stuff is in here. So I went from a full-size home closet to this, which has been super awesome. I feel very fortunate to have what I have. So I have my journals and extra photo albums and stationery. We want to give thank yous and show gratitude to people that we've stayed with. My shoes, all my shoes that I saved. And then this is my closet. It has all my clothes, my office supplies, extra backpack for hiking, all my craft supplies, extra jewelry, and extra little knickknacks that we found, like our seashells from our travels, things like that. So and my yoga mats in here. This store a lot of stuff. This is one of our favorite spots as part of our kitchen and the transition from the living room bedroom space to the kitchen. We call this our bar area. So this is where we serve all of our food. We have had guests over. We've had little dinner parties, and this is where we prep food and I put it out to serve. And this is our hamper. So it feels like overkill, but it's kind of nice when you have a bus and you're traveling around. You don't want to stop and do laundry all the time. We don't have a washer and dryer in here, so we do go to the laundromat. So we actually have our big 3, I won't pull it all out, but our 3-bag laundry area. So it collects everything in here, and it's up to 2 weeks of laundry. So we just do laundry every 2 weeks. That was really important to us to make sure that that was pretty streamlined. And then lastly, this is our bed/couch. My husband actually built this himself for our house when we had a couch that ended up breaking on us. So instead of buying a couch, we decided to invest in him, trial and erroring the future couch for our future bus that we were going to live in someday. It was like a someday dream at the time. And so that's what this top frame is actually still from, is from that couch that he built. And it pulls out to an almost king-size bed. So it was a king-size bed until he put the framing in here. We high-fived on it, and then the next day, after he put the framing in, we pulled it out and it didn't fit anymore. So he actually had to change it. He had to cut 1.5 inches off of it so that it fit in this space. And then it literally becomes a bed room. It's like a whole bed. So I'm super proud of what I decided to do with the front window space, because we needed something to keep the front windshield insulated, and we weren't really sure how we were going to do that. And then my husband had this super rad sheet that he bought, a tapestry from some festival when he was in his 20s. He's in his 50s now. So I was like, there is no way on God's green earth we're going to get rid of this. He was like, I'm not attached to it. We're not attached to things. Let's just get rid of it. And I said, no, let me see what I can do with it. So I was actually able to turn this into a gigantic pillowcase that holds insulation inside, so it is washable if it ever gets dirty. It's reversible, so it has two different designs. It has this one on one side, and I was very intentional about how I lined it up. So it had the floral design on one side, and then a rainbow on the other, so we could switch it anytime we want to. And then it easily just rolls away and tucks in here behind the driver's seat. So it has just been great. And because we don't have a lot of artwork here, it's still a work in progress, then this has really helped it become an immediate homey feeling to our bus, is having something that's kind of designery for our front cover. Hi, I'm Melissa Dillon, and this is my husband.
Hi, I'm Ian Dillon, and this is our bus, Raising Kindness. That was the name of our business in San Diego, where we did gymnastics classes for preschool kids for 7 years. And when COVID hit last March, we went out of business pretty much overnight. We've been building the business for 7 years. We were doing very well, and overnight we had no customers, and we weren't allowed to do business anymore. So we had enough money to get by until October, and when September came and it was clear we would not be back in business by October, we had to figure out what we were going to do and how we were going to continue to live. So we owned 2 school buses, and the no-brainer was to build a skoolie and move into it.
Into one of them, yeah. The other one's in storage, but this is our full-time home now.
And this is our full-time home. So here we are in the middle of the bus where our kitchen is, and when we were putting in a stove, one of my main criteria was that the stove needed to be able to fit a frozen pizza, because we eat frozen pizzas from time to time. And we looked at all the camper stoves and the little ovens and the little 2-burner things like that, and they actually are pretty expensive. So by the time we priced everything out, we thought, why don't we just go to one of those Sears Denton Ding places and see what we can do. And for a really good price, we got a full-size range, which is this is propane. It converts to propane really easily, and this is the nicest stove I've ever had. It just it's got we make our toast on this part in the morning. It's got the long burner in the middle. It's full size. We can make 5 pizzas at the same time if we want to, and it's a great oven. So that worked out great, and the way that connects to our propane tank actually worked out really well too. It's nice and smooth, and we keep most of the stuff outside, which feels safe. So we use that every day, and we have the fan you can see right here above the stove to vent out stuff when we're doing that. And then when it comes to the sink, we decided to go with a pretty big sink. I always wanted to have one of these farmhouse kind of sinks, and my idea is that it would stick out even further so that I would kind of save my back while doing dishes, but it just kind of, in the installation, it didn't make sense to do it that way. So these are really heavy. It's got some steel holding it in here. It's kind of over-engineered with wood all around because of braking forces and stuff like that, and try to get it's in here nice and tight. Okay, so our countertops, we went to a flooring place and just got these big 2-foot by 4-foot sections of ceramic flooring and cut our counters out of that. So it was very cost effective, it wasn't too expensive, and we could just cut some big pieces. So we have storage underneath. This is where we have our chemicals and pots and pans. We put little drawer liners in between our pots and pans so they don't rattle around or anything like that when we travel. All this stuff around the sink packs into the sink when we travel. And it all fits in there perfectly, works out nicely. We have 2 refrigerators, and when we started the journey, we were running both of them. This is the one I had from when I was teaching that the kids gave to me, and this one we bought when COVID started for kind of overflow because everybody was hoarding. And so we ended up putting both of them in here. Everything is built to what we had. Everything in the bus, we basically picked out what we were going to keep, and then I designed around that for spaces. So these fit right in here. Got to give props to Melissa's Uncle George. I did this whole build myself in his 50 days, and it was a lot of hard work. And I never would have finished it if it weren't for her Uncle George. He's retired postal worker and super nice guy who came by, and he did a lot of the woodwork. After I did the framing, he did a lot of the facing and stuff, except for the cabinet doors that I did. So anyway, inside here you can see we have just our plates and all that kind of stuff. And down here we have all of our food. It gets just 3 big shelves, so it gets a little bit tough to manage sometimes, but we do all right with it. Snacks and stuff are up here. And that's pretty much the kitchen. So next we have our son Bodie's room. This is his bed up here. He's got a twin XL mattress. And that way, if either one of us needs to go up in there to read him bedtime stories or anything like that, or if we take a nap up there sometimes, then it's plenty big enough for either one of us adults to go up there. Here's his area. Take this towel out of the way. It's where we keep his books and toys and all that kind of stuff. You can see it all just kind of fits into there. He's had to downsize like we have as far as toys and stuff go. You can see this had to be engineered to be strong enough. That was a little bit of a project to figure all that out. And then under here is his room. This is his room where we kind of worked with the dimensions of the dresser we decided to keep. That was my wife's childhood dresser. We kept that for him. And he loves it. It's a great space for him. When his friends come over, they hang out in there, and it's great. So they have their own spot. So this has been a really good part of the bus, and something that's worked out really well for Bodie.
I was going through a mourning process because Gym Bus and Raising Kindness was my baby to start when we met. So the fact that everything was closed down, our money's bleeding out, our son's just sad he can't go to school. Like there's just so many things that us as a family was going through that's so unique compared to, maybe pre-COVID families choosing to do this, but we were kind of pushed into a corner. And so the transition at first was very hard, but we were excited. I mean, as a hobby, was working on the design of all of this. It was just in a little app called Blender, and it was a hobby thing, that a someday. So the fact that we saw the writing on the wall and we could see this as an opportunity, it also brought about a lot of joy, a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation. There were a lot of emotions going on. When we moved in, there were a lot of emotions going on, a lot of ups and downs. But once we got going and started to get into the rhythm of living here and calling this is our home. We live here and it feels like home. So once it really felt like home and we poured our love into it and we continued to nurture each other through our own emotions and allowing our emotions to pass through us, then we're able to come out the other side as just seeing this as a really wonderful once in a lifetime experience. So it's been really cool.
Early on, we decided we wanted a decent sized bathroom where, you could get 2 people in here, 3 people in here at the same time, and you're not bumping into each other. I didn't want to stand in a bucket to take a shower or anything like that. So we basically just got a 4x6 shower pan, right? It's a Curdy Schluter. You can order it on Amazon. It's not cheap. It's like $300 or something, but it comes with all the membranes and the curb and the shower pan that comes down to the middle where it all drains out of the middle. And then just started with 4x6, and that's kind of how the back of the design or the bus came out. So started with this 4x6 and waterproof the whole thing, put in the flooring, which we really like. It's comfortable on our feet. It's not slippery or anything like that. My wife picked out the tile, and I really like it. The shower's right here, and I like it because I can stand underneath it. It's kind of nice. I can stand in the shower was one of the criteria for me, which is why it's in the middle of the bus and the shower head's not over here. PEX tubing runs through the curb and up through the wall, so that's how that's all hooked into our water system. It's a thin wall, so we had to kind of rig the handle here. So we saw somebody early on that did the whole flash water heater mounted in their bus, and it looked really cool, and they're like, yeah, I can just turn the dials whatever I want to, and it's all super easy and all that kind of stuff. And that's what I want to do. But when I was installing it, I'm reading everything, and it's like, don't put it inside anything. It's got all these warnings on it, and of course my son's bedroom is right here. So I was like, no, it's not going inside, it's going outside. So anyway, it's easy to take these windows out on a bus. We just took out a whole window, put some 2x4 frames in there, mounted the flash heater there, and then we still have the cool effect that we can change our temperatures while we're in the shower and dial in just the shower that we want. We got a digital readout. Everybody knows what their preferred temperature is and makes things easy. Did a above a counter sink here just to give a little bit more space around and underneath to set things on it. And that's worked out well. This is, we didn't want anything touching the floor. I didn't want anything touching the floor in here as far as wood goes that might rot out over time because it's all waterproof. So just ran some angle iron across there, and the whole sink is hung with angle iron so everything's off the floor. So yeah, that's it. We got our little cubby for toothbrush stuff, and I like it. It's worked out well for us.
So you could find any content that we create. We dabble in that at raisingkindness.org. If you want to know more about the gym bus and what that was all about and what that actually looked like versus a bus that's converted into a gymnastics classroom, or that sounds appealing to you for your preschool, SanDiegoGymBus.com. You can also follow our adventures at Raising Kindness Adventures on Instagram. So thank you so much for watching and getting to know our home and sharing it with us.
Yeah, thanks.